us. So that was the last time I had a roommate.
Okay, it seems everybody settled down now. Welcome to the second part of our Friday's PBA media availability, featuring for the first time the Barangay Ginebra team, led by Coach Tim Cohn, Scotty Thompson, and rookie Ken Salado. Floor is open now for questions. You can fire away. Any question?
Coach, first off, I guess just to verbalize the experience of playing without the crowd here in the bubble. I mean, we're all used to Ginebra playing with the packed galleries, roaring Araneta, Mawarina. What is it like for you being coach of numerous teams, including this stable franchise? And siguro later rin for Scotty, the same question.
Well, for me, it's back to the old days, you know. But you know, being part of the Ginebra crowd and that experience is really different and really special. You don't get those kind of experiences from a coaching standpoint, and it's such a lift and a help when you have the home crowd and the crowd is cheering for you, because you don't have to motivate your players as much. The crowd motivates the players. The crowd keeps the players going, and when you're down, the crowd lifts you up. So, and other teams don't have that. So it's such a the crowd is what I call encouragers. They encourage us. They fill us with spirit, whether we're down or whether we're up. We're constantly filling with spirit. And other teams, when they go down, oftentimes they lose that spirit, and it's hard to generate it amongst themselves. So when you have that crowd, it really lifts you. And like I said, it makes it so much easier from a coaching standpoint. So now we don't have it. It's certainly an adjustment. You know, once you get used to it, it's really an adjustment not having it. What we talk about is Scotty and Kent knows that we try to generate that from the bench now, from our guys from the bench, and it doesn't matter whether it's Kent or Jarek or Stanley or Scotty. LA, everybody has to do it. Usually your younger players are the ones that do that, but right now everybody has to be a part of it, because we need that encouragement. We need that sense that there are people behind us rooting for us. So it's an adjustment. I still think we can improve on what we're doing. Guys aren't used to it, but I think we're getting a little bit better at it, and I think we'll adjust and go forward as the conference goes along. But it's certainly, no doubt, it's a much bigger adjustment for us than any of the other teams.
Yun nga, big adjustment for us kasi we all know talagang Ginebra fans yung 6-man namin sa team. So, I think kailangan lang din namin masanay in the long run, masasanay din kami. And like Coach Tim said, we are our own crowd na sa team. So, everybody's kailangan mag-involve sa bench namin, so lahat, sa mga rookies, even veterans. So kailangan talaga involved lahat sa amin ngayon. Siyempre, alam naman namin na andyan pa rin yung crowd namin sa buong social media, nanonood din sila. So inisip namin na andyan pa rin sila para sa amin.
Scotty, kasama ka ba dun sa close door sa Adidas?
Oo, sa close door. So na-experience ko rin sa nung close door nung Villa. So halos pareho.
Siguro yung difference kasi syempre yung Araneta sobrang laki, diba? Tapos yung echo nun, kahit umakyat kami nun tapos naririnig namin kayo kahit dun sa baba. Pero dito at least may officials.
Siguro mas advantage to ngayon kasi mas maliit yung venue, tapos mas rinig talaga lahat, and talagang advantage din kasi less distraction para sa team.
Yes, Scott.
Question, Brian?
Coach, Brian from Philippine Star. Coach, you said you're still adjusting, the team's still adjusting, and of course, all the other teams here in the bubble. But how big it is to have a quick 2 wins in the first week with all teams still in that adjustment period?
Well, it's big because we feel like we're going to get better. You know, we feel like we're growing and getting better all the time. So if you can get early wins when you're not feeling like you're 100%, you know, we're not far. You know, it's not like we're 50%. You know, we're, you know, maybe 85, 90%, but we're not at peak form at this point. And I'm not talking necessarily about shape. These two guys are in awesome shape. Scotty was awesome all the time. I mean, when he first came back, you know, he was in my cluster. These two guys were in my cluster. And I would say, wow, my team is super in shape. Look at these guys. And then I went and saw then the other clusters came and I go, uh-oh. You know, but, you know, these guys gave me a false sense of hope. They were in great shape. But, so being able to win a couple early games is a big deal because I think all the teams are going to get better. All the teams will improve. It's not like we're going to be the only one that gets better. And so if you can get them early and then just continue to improve and get better later on, then you're going to give yourself a better shot at getting a good seed in the playoffs. And that's what we want. You want to get to that top four. Because if you don't get to that top four, imagine you might be playing a Talking Tex or San Miguel or Magnolia or a Phoenix, you know, twice, having to beat them twice. Major Mahita behind. So we can't afford to do that. So we got to really battle for that top four. You don't want to be in that position. So the top four is crucial. So early wins, it's awesome.
Sige.
Jeremiah from Manila Bulletin. Kay Kent lang siguro, ano yung pakiramdam na finally nandito ka na sa PBA, especially after nung issue last year?
Unang-una sa lahat, sobrang saya ko na napasama ko sa PBA bubble. Lalong-lalo na sa lineup ng team na napasama ko. Tapos, sa akin lang malaking adjustment kasi lalo na pag may game kami, parang nai-starstruck pa rin ako sa ibang player kasi ngayon ko lang sila nakita ng ganyan kasi dati sa TV lang. Pero pag nasa bench naman ako, parang tinitingnan ko yung flow ng game kasi iba yung sa college parang fast game. Dito kasi sa pro parang kailangan mo maging smart. Kailangan alam mo kung saan ka pupwesto, ganun. Tapos always ready lang naman ako sa bench.
Coach, the first week assessment for your 3 rookies so far?
Well, you know, Arvin at this point is getting me the most playing time. That's because there's a slot available for him right now for him to really step in and play more minutes. Jarek and Kent are kind of backing up Scotty and Stanley, and that limits the time you're going to get on the floor. You know, like Art is injured right now, so you know, Arvin has a chance to step in and play that position, that 3 position. Joe struggled with being in shape, so that also gave that position a chance for him to get in. You know, Kent had it right. It's really about adjusting and learning. It's a different type of game in the PBA. In college, you know, you're going up and down. It's really fast. But especially, I guess, maybe in our team, our game is really a thinking game. And, you know, it's an execution game. As Scotty knows, I was on you last night, you know, slowing down, trying to slow down, trying to read the game a little better. So, you know, we're into read and react, and it's a lot more difficult game because you have to slow down, especially for a high energy guy like Ken. He has to, you know, really read, stop, and slow the game down. Same thing with, I was comparing Ken, I told him this to Mark Moroka. You know, Mark is a guy who goes 1,000% all the time. I mean, all the time. And we have to dial him back a lot. We used to tell him that don't let your energy or your enthusiasm get in front of your execution. Because sometimes you're so energetic, you're so enthusiastic that you forget that you have to execute because you're going so fast. And these are the things that really young players, for our system and the way we play, have to figure out. And it takes them a little while. And we're going to teach and allow them to grow before we throw them into the fire. And that's kind of our philosophy. And so, you know, Kent and Jarek still have some learning to do, but we see them as big contributors down the line. We love Kent's energy. The practice he brings is amazing. Joe DeVance is always talking about Kent, and so, you know, his future is secure with us.
Okay,
From Lynn Olivario, for Scotty, napapansin mo ba yung virtual fans kapag naglalaro ka? Sa game nyo kagabi, 245 yung nag-register. Kahit sa virtual fan slots, Ginebra game pa rin ang in-demand. Hindi pwede ang fans dyan sa games. Paano nakakatulong ang mga virtual fans sa inyo?
Actually, nung pagpasok pa lang namin sa court, kagabi na talagang napansin na agad namin yung mga virtual fan kasi most of them naka-red na talaga lahat agad. So, kitang-kita mo talaga sa screen. Kaya, nakaka-boost ng energy namin kasi alam talaga namin na kahit saan kami, kahit anong mangyari, andyan talaga sila para sa amin.
okay. Coach, update on the condition of Japet and LA Pinoyo.
Well, I think it's obvious to you guys. You know, the eyeballing them at this point is just as obvious to me as it is to you guys. You know, they're not 100%. They came in late. That's been probably our biggest adjustment. Guys have had to step up in their absence. Japeth has struggled, but we got to keep throwing him out there so he can. You know, how is he going to get his rhythm, or how is he going to get in shape unless you get him out there and play? So you know, Japeth still has a ways to go. He knows it. And again, we talked about earlier about being 2-0 without a fully functioning Japeth Aguilar is really a bonus. And then of course LA, you know, they're still draining his wounds from his surgery. He's actually just been an amazing specimen in terms of continuing to play and continuing to practice. I mean, he's not practicing it and then going and playing. He's doing the full practice and still getting into the games. And so, you know, just amazing. I keep using, I guess courage is the word that I'm saying with LA. I still think LA's maybe 2 to 3 weeks away from getting back to being the LA that we know. No doubt he will get back there because he's got such a great work ethic. And but he's underweight. He needs to, you know, he needs to get heavier. He needs to get stronger, build more definition. He's lost a lot of definition. So those are things he's still battling too. So you know, we're going to continue to have guys step up. We think Jap is going to get better, literally game by game. He will be better next game and the game after and the game after. The other thing I keep telling our guys is that we understand we're playing at a level right now. We're going to be a lot better 2 weeks from now, and then we're going to, after that, we're going to be a lot better in the other next 2 weeks. So we just continue to hopefully grow and get better, and that's our goal. And but we really truly believe that we have to recover our habits. We have to recover our shape. We had a lot of defensive breakdowns last night, just strictly from confusion. And that's something we pride ourselves on, is that not to be confused defensively, but we still have guys that don't have the habits of doing things the way we expect, and so like Scotty's guessing what Jared's going to do, or you know, we're guessing what Arvin's going to do because he doesn't know, and it's just there's a lot of confusion out there defensively, and we need to clean that up.
To the two players, Scotty and Ken. So far, kumusta kayo dito sa bubble after 2 weeks? Si Coach mukhang na-settle na rin. Nako.
So far, okay naman. Yung una lang talaga syempre, iniisip kung anong mangyayari. So habang tumatagal, alam na namin anong gagawin dito, paano may mag-adjust, paano namin alagaan yung sarili namin. Yan. Talagang thankful kami sa PBA kasi nga talagang yung ginawa nila dito sa bubble na talagang well prepared talaga natin.
Ken, ikaw, lalo ka na, batang-bata.
Ako ngayon nung pagdating dito, ganun naman eh, nag-a-adjust pa muna kami. Kasi bago pa kami dito para dumating, parang sobrang hirap eh. Pero ako, nung parang mga after 3 days, nung nakakalabas na kami, ano na ako eh, parang sobrang saya ko eh, kasi nakakabanding ko yung mga teammates ko eh, lalo na yung mga veterano. Na, pwede ko silang puntahan sa mga rooms nila, naglalaro kami ng PS, tapos yun. Kasi hindi naman tulad ng pag nasa Manila, hindi mo sila sobrang mabanding eh, sa practice lang.
Pusoy.
The problem is that at this point you get too much bonding. I mean, it's almost too much.
Yeah.
But yeah, that's a great point. Well, you know, they especially for someone like Jared, you really get to know his teammates here. In a game, after the game, you go home. You don't see him until maybe you see him for a couple hours in practice. Then you go home again. But here, you're just locked in with each other. And but I really treasure our veterans like Mark Aguila and LA. You know, Jared, you know, guys like that, they're really, Joe, obviously, they're really, you know, open to everybody. You know, they really bring in the rookies, they make them be a part of things, they don't shut anybody out, and that really helps in a situation like this. But I think most of all, I think we're just all really happy to be here in terms of playing the game. I mean, we're thankful that the PBA and the Board of Governors got this thing all together. It wasn't an easy task. It is continuing to be a tough task. There are certainly challenges that we have to go through, but I think overall we're just really happy to be here and thankful that the PBA got this thing going so we can continue doing the thing we're passionate about.
Basta na lang kay Kent. Kent, anong pakiramdam na you're playing for the most popular team in the country? Siyempre, sa rookie.
Sobrang saya ko eh, lalo na yung sa drafting na napunta ako sa Ginebra. Kasi alam naman natin ang Ginebra, lalo na pag nasa court din sila, parang buong court masisira eh.
Ano ba favorite team mo?
You know what was nice about Kent and Jarek and Arvin is that when we were in the finals in January, they were already coming to the locker room, they were at every game, you know, they were seeing and watching, and I think it was just a great experience for them to be there during that finals and watch the championship evolve for us. So you don't usually get that opportunity to have your rookies be there and experience it all. And then of course the after parties and everything else, it was just really nice to have them there and be a part of it.
But no bonus yet, Coach.
No, I didn't get any bonus. The bonus was watching us get bonuses.
Any more questions? Sige.
And coach, your next game will be against Meralco, and we all know the rivalry.
Speaking of the championship, yeah.
The last year's championship, or early this year. So talk about that, coach. Defining the
Well, obviously we know they're going to be ready. I think I mentioned this to the guys last night that the last time we beat them in a championship, the first game after we played them, they blew us out by 25 points. And you know they're ready. They're going to be ready for us, and we know it. And we're going to have to meet their intensity, find a way to meet their intensity, because they're also coming off a big, huge win after having a tough first game. So that's really going to, lift them up and motivate them. So, and we only have a couple days to prepare, today and tomorrow. So it's going to be this will be our biggest test so far, I think. And it's going to be a tough one against Morocco.
Coach, without Junmar and under a bubble setup, do you believe this is the most wide open Philippine Cup, and how do you record chances of finally clinching a non-Filipino title for Ginebra?
Well, yeah, I think it's wide open. I think it's very difficult to tell which the good teams are and the bad teams are right at this point. Who's going to be in top of the standings? I don't think you can predict the top 4 teams at this point. Blackwater played incredibly well last night, and if they continue to play like that, they're going to win a lot of games. They showed that versus Northport, so you can't dismiss them. They really look like a well coached team last night. I mean, they just really knew what they wanted to do, and they knew how they wanted to attack us. And I was very impressed. I've been impressed with Phoenix. Obviously, I think everybody has. Phoenix looks like they have a real good chemistry going, and they're very well balanced in terms of bigs and smalls and in and out. And so, you know, of course, there's San Miguel talking text, Magnolia, Northport, who we feel is going to get it going, NLEX. And I mean, there's just so many, you just don't know who the teams are going to be. Game to game, who's going to be the good team you play. So yes, it is very wide open, not just because of no Ginebra or no Greg Slaughter. It's just wide open because of the situations that we're in, and you know, how teams came into the bubble and how prepared they are. The preparation at this point, in my mind, is when I say preparation, I mean preparing in terms of shape, preparing in terms of understanding system and playing the way you're supposed to play. Those things, that preparation is more important than talent at this point. And maybe that'll change when guys, you know, towards the end of the conference, when teams start to, you know, get really back to where they are. But to me, the cream always rises to the top. So at the end, you know, talent will mean something. But at this point, this early, it's really about just the preparation you're going to get going into every game.
Okay. One more question. Okay, wala na tayo. On that note, Coach, any words for the PBA fans in Barangay Ginebra?
For me,
Yeah.
you know, we know they're out there. You know, like I said, Mark and you remind us all the time, you know, and you know, we just like Scotty said earlier, we just have, you know, we're reminded by social media all the time that they're out there and they're cheering for us, and so that's truly our motivation at this point. We wish they were there. We haven't heard any Ginebra chants, so we were hoping that someone would pipe it into the system while we were playing, but we haven't heard it. We miss them, and we miss the fans, and but we know they're out there, and we're proud to be playing for them, and hopefully we can keep winning for them. That's the goal.
Ken, baka may babatiin ka o ano? It's open.
Ano lang, sa PBA fans and sa Ginebra fans, sana huwag po kayong magsawang sumuporta sa amin.
Ito si Scotty, ang daming nito followers sa YouTube eh.
Yun, all PBA fans and Ginebra fans, thank you for supporting us, and sana patuloy na kami supportahan as league goes along the way. Sana lahat ng ginagawa namin is para sa inyo, and we'll try our best to get more wins para sa Ginebra.
Okay, thank you very much, the Barangay Ginebra City.
Thanks, guys.
Thanks, Coach.
Thanks,
We're going
Coach.
straight to the pool.
Yeah,
They are,
just in
right
time.
there.
Thank you.
Thank you.